wameomba uwanja for today to host a match at the Kenyatta University. It's going to be an exciting match. One of actually we also have other different high-profile matches. KCB, who are the defending champions, will be hosting Kabra Sugar, the top or rather the log leader with 25. Though the two teams might be tied with 25 points, the teams that so far have not been able to lose a match in the 2019-2020 Kenya Cup season. For Homeboys, they have had an exemptional run this season, only losing once against KCB. But since then, they have been able to continue with their impressive run. And today, they'll be hoping that they can be able to record a win against a BlakBlad side that has only recorded one win so far. Again, a BlakBlad side, they'll be saying that as much as Homeboys are the host, we're on the home ground and we can be able to record that particular win today and maybe move their point tally. It's going to be exciting. I know on the start of the season, Florence, we talked about how most of the Kenya Cup sides have been able to do the changes with Impala. They have been able to bring on board Micho Chola. Kenya Harlequins, Dominic Habimana, an exemptional coach with the Kenya Simbas now, moving to coach the Ngong Road outfit. There's a lot of changes. Mwamba, they have been able to maintain the Kevin Wambua. For Homeboys, they were able to do a bit of changes in terms of the technical bench to just see whether this will be the season that they can be able to record their first Kenya Cup title, or rather a title in terms of the longer version of rugby, whether it's the Enterprise or even the Kenya Cup. On my left, I think this is my left here. On my left, I'll be joining Coach Hector, who has been tasked with making sure that we can be able to see a Homeboy side that does not only dominate the regular league, but can be able to post a rather good result in terms of playoff. Allow me to just walk on the side and talk to Hector. Coach Hector, first of all, Karibu Kenya. I know we have never had a chance of interacting with you, but I've seen you in a lot of matches in the 7 series. But I know 15s is your specification. For those people who don't know Coach Hector, let's just talk about your origin, or where you come from, and how your journey in rugby started.
Yeah, I'm from South Africa. There, rugby starts at 5 years old for any schoolboy. So yeah, once we started playing rugby, there's just no stopping. I started coaching after neck injury, and yeah, that was about 10 years ago. And it's been non-stop coaching as well, so it's been fun.
It's exemptional that with Homeboys, with your first or rather your debut season, let's call it a debut season with the team, you have been able to record 4 wins and only one loss against the defending champion. And it was not just a loss, it was a very slim one because it was an exciting match at the Roraka ground. Let's talk about the experience so far coaching a Kenya Cup side and how you have been able to study the league. Maybe is it so different from the South African leagues?
Yeah, it's interesting. In South Africa, obviously everyone knows we rely a lot on kicking game. In Kenya, it's a lot more physical, it's a lot more direct. So we've had to make adjustments, try and kind of change a little bit of mindsets, making the better decisions in terms of when to make contact, when to spread the ball out wide. But yeah, it's been quite challenging, but also fun at the same time.
I know Kenyans, we talk about the Kenya Cup being so tough, like you can't survive. From your perspective, I know you have not been able to hear a lot of stories of how Kenya Cup is so difficult. How would you describe the Kenya Cup?
Look, there's no easy match in the Kenya Cup. We saw, like we spoke before um, earlier, it's one loss, and all of a sudden we've dropped 2 places. You know, and that's how close the Kenya Cup is, which makes it exciting as well because any given day that result can either be the difference between qualifying for playoffs or going down into the bottom league.
Does you having to go with the team Homeboys throughout the 7 series, has it played a role in terms of you making sure that at least you can be able to click well with the players and have a better understanding of the local league?
Yeah, definitely. Spending time with the guys in the sevens allowed me to get them to know them a lot better. I got to spend time, get to know more, not just the rugby player and the quality, but also the individual, and that affected a lot of my planning as well. Knowing which players to use in certain matches, which players to use for different matches. It was quite fun. Also, rugby is a social sport, so getting to know the players has been lots of fun.
Let's talk about now this particular match against BlakBlad RFC. It's a tough team, and actually you have been able to hand as much as the host. I think they will also boost of being the owners of the ground, and probably some of the fan base, some of the fans will be able to make their ways here. So it's going to be a tough match. But let's talk about how you want to approach this match, or rather the dynamics that you want to put in this particular match to make sure that you can be able to record a win.
Look, every match is different. Every match is exciting. Every match is tough. I said a few weeks ago that there's no easy match in the Kenya Cup. and we've prepared as such. So our goal is to go all out. And then obviously what we've worked on in the week is consistency, trying to control the tempo, not force things, because in the end of the day in this league, too many unforced errors and you're the losing team. So that's our main focus today is consistency, and then just tightening the screws on what we already got going for us.
Do you have a hidden card? I know every coach has a hidden card under the sleeve. Like this is my it to go player. Like this is a player that when I want to turn around the match, when I want things to change in terms of the match, this is a player to call onto the pitch. Maybe you have been able to have one so far at Homeboys.
Look, if I told you, it wouldn't be a hidden player, right? No, look, I have faith in all my players. We don't choose a player because we like them. We choose a player based on merit. So every player that we choose, he's worked his butt off to get there, and he's proven that he belongs there. So there is no hidden cards or anything like that. It's players are chosen here because they're good enough and they fit into the system and the culture.
What is the target for Homeboys?
This season, the target is to make playoffs. I see how far we can go, obviously, but our minimum target is playoffs. And then if that works out, then obviously the next season we'll try and push it a bit further. If we don't make playoffs, then I'm out of a job. So, yeah.
That's the target, the playoff. I hope that you can be able to make it to the playoff. And I was telling you actually off camera, like this, how you start the Kenya Cup sometimes determines whether you're going to make it to the playoff. I think for you so far, being able to record at least 4 wins in the first five matches, it's impressive. And again, the dynamic do change, and I'm hoping that you can be able to make it to the playoff. And of course, even the Enterprise Cup when you start the campaign. I hope to see Homeboys propel even to the best, to the highest level possible. I joined actually this young man. If my cameraman can zoom down here, you know, this guy is a son to Paul Murunga, who was an exceptional coach with the Homeboys RFC. I think you have been able to click well with the whole Homeboys fraternity.
Yeah, Coach Paul is also obviously the former Kenya national team sevens coach, and he actually supports us quite well. You'll see him maybe later today. You'll catch a glimpse of him, and then young Blake over here, the future coach, the Flying Fijian, as he's known. Yeah. So we're glad to have Blake here with us. Oh, he's actually, I think, our biggest supporter. So it's good to have him on board. As you can see, he's donning the yellow and blue of Homeboys.
So that's Homeboys actually. Lastly, coach, maybe for the fans probably. I know there are fans who want to come, who support Homeboys, and they would want to know maybe more reasons to come out. I know it's going to, the weather is going to change, but maybe you can be able to give them more reasons to come and watch the game against Black.
Look, playing against students love running the ball. So for one, we can guarantee high tempo rugby, and there will be some exciting tries from both teams, I think. Just because when you play with youth, you know, running rugby is what you want, and that's exciting rugby. And if that doesn't entice crowds, I don't know what will.
Yeah. Exemption, all the best, coach, and I hope to see more of rugby from Homeboys. Asante sana. And we talked about the beer.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the pub is what 20 meters away.
20 meters away.
That should also bring the fans, won't it?
Thank you, coach. All the best. Well, that is Coach Hector, the man tasked with making sure that at least Homeboys can be able to make it to the playoff. A fantastic man. I know how he has been able to gel well with the Kenyan rugby scene. It's interesting, and maybe that's why Florence actually we have been able to see Homeboys with a new technical bench being able to record impressive results. Currently underway, as usual, the ESS match against Homeboys and BlakBlad RFC. I know most of the time people ask whether the ESS is the second tier league. No, it's not the second tier league of the Kenya rugby leagues, but rather it's a feeder league to the Kenya Cup. And years, I think 5 years ago, that was around 2014, if I remember well. This used to be a compulsory league for all the clubs that are participating in the Kenya Cup. But things have since changed. But again, its importance is still evident that most of the teams that participate in the Kenya Cup do not want to. At least they have still maintained their second tier team. This is a system that you come through once you suffer an injury to just make sure that you can be able to bring back, or rather, you can be able to go back to the status of competing in the Kenya Cup. So it's always exciting again to watch ESS matches. Later we'll be having Homeboys playing BlakBlad RFC. That's the main team around 4 p.m. It's going to be exciting. I'll be talking to the coach, Moto. Just know about the last time we talked to him. Just hear from him maybe some of the changes. I know they have been able to play Cabras. They have been able to record a win against Kisumu. We'll be catching up with him as well as the captain for today, a Kenya under-20 international player. We'll be talking to them later. But for now, it's back to you in studio. First of all, Florence, I've never been so excited like I am now because of of the Dubai, or rather, the change in scene in terms of the Kenya 7 scene, how things are changing. Remember, for the first time, before we used to have players being selected before a leg, but now we have an 18 team, an 18-man squad that is tasked with making sure that they can be able to play for a whole series. That is subject to changes. Of course, sometimes injuries do come in for some of the players, and you have to do the changes. But I think with the combination of the young lads who were able to do the task for last season, and the likes of Amonde, the likes of Ambaka, the likes of Nelson Oyo making a comeback, Dan Sikuta, it's going to be interesting. And actually, the fans who lost hope last season, this is a season to watch out for Kenya Sevens. I'm telling you, it's going to be exciting. And not even a top 8 finish. I think we can be able to make in the top 5 this season. It's going to be exciting. In terms of Homeboys having to play the match at the Kenyatta University ground, I understand the Jamhuri Park, where Homeboys most of the time they host their home matches there, currently has been hired by the scout movement of Kenya. They have an activity. So that's the reason why Homeboys have been forced to look for alternative grounds. And Kenyatta University BlakBlad was so kind to them to offer the ground for today's exciting match. Rugby is changing, so people should watch out for sevens and even the 15 version. Back to Florence.